Sir Joselito, can you please mute your mic? Thank you.
Hello po.
Mute na lang, sir. Okay. All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you type it in there, guys? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So apologies, we did not have our live session with DuPoint last week because of unforeseen events, and we have a lot of events that had happened in our company as well. So today we will be discussing on the weekly outlook on the market, and we have also a special guest with us to this afternoon. And we see a lot of Vertex people. Can you type good afternoon, everyone? Good afternoon. And good afternoon to DuPoint people as well. So my name, again, is FQ Farnasio, and I am the mentor and coach of Vertex Trading. So I am one of the speakers of DuPoint Markets as well. And again, welcome to Vertex Trading, or welcome as well to DuPoint Markets. Can you see the screen, everyone? Can you type number 1 if everybody can see the screen right now? Number 1. Okay, so great. You guys can see the screen. Let me just click on the screen share, the presentation. So welcome to Vertex. So many thanks to DuPoint Markets for this afternoon session that we have this afternoon. A little risk disclaimer of what we're having. Any information shared in this live webinar is for your educational purposes only. And take note that trading involves significant amount of risks involved, and any indicative of past performances that you may have been doing with your portfolios, with your application, is not indicative of whatever future results that you might be having. Because let's face it, trading is ever changing, or the markets are ever changing. Whatever results you did in the past, well, you might not duplicate it the same way. But it is essential that you have to evaluate every single approach that you will be learning from us this afternoon. And my suggestion is take advices with your licensed financial advisors, or take everything I say or our coaches say with a grain of salt. So trading losses can be taken with trading, and it's normal part of our trading that losses are inevitable, but we can manage it well, syempre with proper risk management and trading approaches as well. Now, my name is FQ Farnasio. I am the president of Ignite Marketing Resources Inc., or commonly known as Vertex Trading. Like I said, this webinar is not a get-rich-quick scheme activity. I am inviting everyone, or I am highly advising everyone to take down notes as much as you can. So please do take down notes if you can, because like I said, it is essential for you guys to take everything into notes and take action as well with every single learning that I'll be enforcing, or I'll be sharing. So what are we? We are forever a student of the market, and take note that as a student of the market, we have to adapt to ever-changing market cycles and market phases. And huge shout out to our students here right now. We have Ma'am Anna, we have Brian Diego here right now. As well, Sir Hendrich Lay as well, and Sir Tueng is here as well. One of our strong point students, future CTAs or CTA designated students as well. So we should become at least a decent trader and apply context of fundamental analysis and technical analysis in our approaches, especially risk management, because like I said, it is integral part of trading. It is important that we have a system. Correct? Everybody here has their own system when you are applying things with your chart. Correct? Can you type number 1 if you have a system already in place? If you don't have a system, let us be that guide to you guys on how to manage your trades properly. Like I said, we can be that guide, and your we can develop also those techniques for you guys to approach the market with ease. So let's get on with our topic. Huge shout out first things and foremost with DuPoint Markets.
DuPoint, the one-stop trading platform for commodities, indices, and currency pairs.
So my advice is to take, well,
Dew point.
do register with their link because they have a link here or our QR code. And since this webinar is brought to you by DuPoint Markets, let's have a little backtrack of what happened last week. So we had a call to action in our server, actually, in our Discord server, wherein in our Discord server, let me just pull out our Discord server because we did not create a live session last week, as what I've said, because of unforeseen events and some events inside our community as well. And from last week's session, that was like, what date was last week? December 2, right? December 2 session, we are eyeing for actually a long perspective potential from the trade ideas from last week. We had a bearish outlook with regards to with the US and some outlooks on key important levels in the market. So let's try to review the charts later and check what happened with the markets. As we all know, Euro USD created a long opportunity from last week. Since December 2, we highlighted in our server that we are eyeing a long perspective with Euro JPY, Euro USD, GBP USD, and some China sentiment with regards to AUD USD as well. So this is what happened last week, and let's try to review the charts later and what happened or what caused this approach for the market to push longer. So this is what happened with GBP USD, creating a, let's pull out some charts, creating a long opportunity from last week because of, well, let's look at the technical side of things. This was the long bias from last week, December 2 perspective. And what caused this market to poise this way? Let's just say it's something correlative with regards to market price action. It's correlative with news and it's correlative with structure as well. As we all know, with regards to looking at definite trends with the market, this is a clearly strong downtrend with GBP USD, correct? But the market told us, or the structure of the market told us, we discussed this also in our survey yesterday with StrongPoint, the market told us that there is an indicative of the market poising to go up from its current levels. And this actually gave us a signal as to taking a long opportunity for a short-term reversal of the market. Now, this is what happened with GBP. And with Euro as well, this is what happened with Euro USD. It is actually the same structure. And I believe most of you guys are familiar with structures in the market. And I believe it is pretty obvious what kind of structure is this. In Vertex, I believe some of the people in Vertex know this as what we call a head and shoulders pattern. Someone inside of Vertex call this the Junjun pattern, as what we call it, just to give a mnemonic term and easily to understand the context of this. So we had GBP and Euro USD poising for a long objective playbook. Now, this is what happened with GBP, and this is what happened with Euro USD as well. Let's look at what happened with BTC USD. Actually, we signaled in our server a potential weakness already with BTC. Why? Because of, let's just say, trends and price action is telling us that there is already part weakness as to its current run up. The test of the $100 level scale is actually a psychological level. Can you type it in there, guys? Psychological. It's a psychological number wherein it's easier to understand. It's easier to remember psychological levels of the market. And like I said, any psychological level, there might be some profit-taking objectives in those levels that we have to take note of. Let's just say some traders who capitalized on BTC USD from 66,000 up to 100,000 level already are securing some profit objectives. And considering some tools that we use in our server, let's just say with the use of our moving average context, the story of BTC USD is telling us a different story already. Moving averages are used to define trends. Can you type it in there, guys? Trends. It will tell you how strong a trend is. It should be telling you how strong a trend is. Especially in our context, we utilize the EMAs in the local stock market and in BTC USD as well. And we utilize EMAs with Forex market as well. Since we are trading this on a smaller time frame, we are using EMAs in this scale. If we are trading stocks, we are just using the simple moving average or SMAs. But right now with BTC USD, we are applying the context of EMAs. It's showing the 20, 50, and 100 context from previously a very strong moving average context or story, showing or depicting a move of a moving average 20. It tells us that the trend is very strong. But it posting or it showing signs of not respecting the moving average 20 already and moving average 50, it tells us that it is now towards a slower upward movement trend. Same goes to show with other moving averages or some pairs that created a short perspective. I guess it's pretty obvious why it created some short weakness already with the downtrend of Euro USD because of it not already respecting the moving average 20 with Euro. If we are look at GBP USD in that clear context, it's the same context and banana as well. And now it is actually posting a sign of reversal. But this is the technical aspect of it. Okay, this is the short technical aspect of what I want to share with what happened from last week. What's important is that how are we going to apply it in charts or with our application with trading? Like I said, I already showed to you guys in advance what happened and what are we expecting for last week. Now, what's key and is important for this afternoon session is what will happen for this week. And for the upcoming weeks, especially right now, we are on the Christmas season already. Correct, guys? Christmas. Can you type it in there, guys? Merry Christmas. So we are now in the Christmas season and we have to expect that there are some impacts in the market that we need to consider. I don't like to call it impacts. I like to call it liquidity. Okay, short on liquidity with regards to markets, especially on the Christmas season, right after the 22nd week or 21st and 22nd week. As we all know, everything there are what we call bank holidays. Can you type it in there? Holiday. This will serve as low liquidity in the market. This will provide very low liquidity. And if you are planning to trade on these seasons, expect that your broker platforms, your spreads will be farther apart. So might I suggest if you want to capitalize on the market early point in time, please capitalize it until this week only. Okay, until this week. Don't go extend it until the 22nd or 22nd moving forward. Let it have a rest until January. It's the time of giving. Don't give. Yes, I know it's a time for giving, but do not give it to your broker. The charges and unforeseen losses of the market. We want to make sure that you are at par with the proper applications as well. And we have to preserve our capital properly. Okay, I want everybody to have an on-point application with regards to trading financial markets, and liquidity is also important when we are trading. Okay, so let's get on with our slide again. So wait. Let's get on with our slide again. As we all know, we had our recently concluded competition or demo trading competition inside of our company, DuPoint. Huge shout out to the winners of the competition, but I would love to focus and reiterate the process of how people manage their trades in this kind of competition. I know it's a demo trading competition, and the demo trading competition, they gave out some prizes, right? They gave out some prizes. Can you type number 1 if you guys joined the competition and you saw how big of a potential the global market can give us because of trading global markets? Some people manage to grow their portfolio X times the amount of their portfolio from just $5,000. But I would love to focus on our what do we call this? I would love to focus on risk management context, because like I said, risk to reward is very important. And we have actually a guest here this afternoon that would also share some insights about and thoughts about risk to reward ratio. Before we invite him over and do a talk and discussion, these are the competition rewards during this demo trading competition. I mean, yes, you will be opening an account with the platform and trade it virtually. And for just a span of like 5 days in a week, or until December 8th, it's 6 days competition, bigger rewards will rewards, or the highest competition winner will have a reward. But as we all know, yeah, the winners of the competition grabbed really good gains in the market. Let's try to visit the competition winners. Okay? We want to it's not that we commend the process of people earning really big amounts of money, right? This is 4,500%. Can you type wow? 4,500% in just a couple of days. Correct? Wow. This is a big wow. 4,500%. We have 3,000% in just 5 days. And that given this potential, it's a big leap of opportunity to gain. But let's try to dive in their process on how they manage their trades. And from the start of the competition, let's try to randomly pick people out on how they will be entering and exiting a specific trade. Now, this tab over here is what we call the lot size applications of people. Correct? This tab here, we can see the lot size application of people. Can you type number 1 if we are on the same page? Yes. So, please mute that. Ferdinand, thank you. Okay. So this is actually the broker gave us what? $5,000 to actually trade. In my portfolio, I ranged up around 5% gain in that 5-week challenge. Some of our students managed to grow their portfolio ranked. Some of our students managed to grow their portfolio in just 5 days, around 20% gain. But let's try to compare risk management approaches, first things and foremost. And siguro, let's try to randomly pick people up here. We don't know their names personally, and we don't know who they are. But I just want to reiterate, yes, a lot of people are trading XAU USD. But with a $5,000 portfolio and application of trades, I mean, it's very important that we manage things correctly with regards to application. Why? Because we are on a limited capital. Can you type it in there, guys? Limited. We are on a limited capital. Once you wipe out that limited number of capital, let's say $5,000, it's no more. It's gone for good. If you are applying this on a personal portfolio, it will be critical for your trades. You won't be in the market for a long time. But since it is just a demo trading competition and bragging rights is, I mean, you are eyeing that biggest win in the market. But let's try to dig deep on their trade executions, first things and foremost. Now, let's look. Imagine if you are starting with a $5,000 portfolio and you have a lot size of 20. Okay, imagine you have a lot size of 20. How many dollars is it per 10 pips if you have a $20 portfolio, a 20 lot size portfolio? So to compute it at per 10 pips, this is actually $2,000 per 10 pips. Imagine per 10 pips, if you created a sell or a long perspective with just 20 pips, this is already times 2, right? This is already times 2. So $2,000, this will be $4,000. It's gonna eat up already the portfolio. Almost. Correct, guys? How much more if this will run up to 30 pips or 40 pips, the portfolio $5,000 will be wiped out already. You got the idea, guys? Yes, you got the idea. It's okay, yeah. For the competition, if you want to win the competition faster, this is a good process. Hindi ba? This is one of the best process, hit or miss. I'll just go in the biggest lot size, and if it gains, then that's good for me because I will be on the top of the food chain with regards to trading application. But risk to reward wise, take note that the higher you risk, the higher your potential losses might be. And with this, I guess it's not that sound if this is a live portfolio execution base, right? It's not that sound to risk more than $2,000 with just one trade per 10 pips. You got the idea, guys? Can you type number 1 if you got the idea? You only have $5,000 for a portfolio. And take note, this is not duplicable in the long run with regards to our trading process. And we want to make sure that in our trading process, we want to make sure that we have to apply and to preserve this capital for the longest time. We want to be in with the market for the longest time and preserve at most with a proper risk management. And one of our guests today this afternoon will be showing or showcasing a potential of risk management. Do you want to know more about risk management this afternoon, everyone? So I hope you find the means or execution on how we'll be dealing with these kinds of approaches. I've actually lobbied some concerns and some, let's just say, criterias on the next upcoming competitions. Let's make it with good process as well. Okay, let's make it with really good process with regards to trading application. Let's try to compare a 20% gain portfolio in just 5 days with just applying 0.05 application with just short amount of trades, right? 0.5 application, this is like $50, right? This is just like $50 per 10 pips. And the trade execution was actually the same calls and shots that we did with in our server with applying things with risk management and trades. So this prompted this our student to take an opportunity to trade GBP USD for a long objective scale and short objective scale. Like I said, need not to massively grow your portfolio fast, even if you have small amounts of trade. But with the right direction of the market, you can easily grow your portfolio performance. In just 5 days, that's 20%. And that's not bad, right, guys? Can you type number 1 if that's not bad? Comparing it to like the first hour of the competition, I just want to highlight it because during the first hour, somebody already grabbed like 2,000% in just the first 2-3 hours of the competition. With that 2,000%, right after our event in SMCT Tarlac here in our country, right after the event we had, when we viewed again the top competition winners during December 2's challenge, the top one already was wiped out because of risk management. So my advice is to employ proper risk management, and our capital is always should always be safe with regards to the market. Okay, you got the idea, everyone? Can you type number 2 if you are all in the same phase with this one? Now, Seth, are you here? I'll introduce one of our guest speakers for this afternoon. His name is actually Seth Renmar Garcia. He is a licensed trader, a CTA or a certified technical analyst as well, and one of our coaches inside of our community in Vertex as well. And he actually is also a fund manager and a former technical analyst to a broker as well. And he'll be sharing some technical insights on how to do proper risk management as well. And can you type it in there, guys? Hi, Seth. Hi, Seth. Right? Hi, Seth. So, Seth, are you there? Seth? Are you there? Let's try to give and show them some potential for trading, and let's try to do some Q&A sessions before we give out some highlights to the people, our viewers for this afternoon about the week ahead. So I'll give you the process of providing some risk management. Don't be like this guy, all in into the moon mindset. So Seth will be sharing some insights for this afternoon. Okay, Seth, you can now share your screen.
First of all, am I audible? Is
Yes,
it
you are.
clear? Is my voice very beautiful?
Yes.
Or okay, okay.
Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, Nak. So,
Okay.
okay. Seth, what is about risk management that you think is very essential? I've shared some process of what I've observed with the market from last week. And how do you think this will benefit to people?
Um, it's actually the if we consider a tree, it's actually the roots of everything. If you will consider trading and or in terms of trading, it's actually the it's like the bread and butter of everything that we do. And what I'm about to present right now are things that you already know. Okay? These are things that you already know, but we keep on neglecting as traders. Okay? Something that is considered, let's say, a bad drug to every trader out there, but keeps on getting addicted because of the desire and pleasures that it brings. That's what she said. I'm known as a narrative mentor or speaker. So in this presentation of mine, I'll present it as much as a story. Okay? Today, in this presentation of mine as well, I will discuss some things like why trading should not be easy. Why is it associated with why gambling is associated with trading? The common notion of should I be trading or should I be investing? And the bread and butter of my presentation, which is the trader's guide to risk management. And number 5, which I will tell you later on. Now, I know Sir FQ already presented this already, but a little bit of a disclaimer. What I'm about to share are my experiences that I have accumulated for over 7 years. Learnings that I got from the rich people that I know, rich traders that I know, okay? Billionaires that I've watched in YouTube, billionaires who have written books and I have read, working in a brokerage firm, which Sir FQ already mentioned a while ago, okay? Working in a brokerage, working in a brokerage firm, handling big and small accounts, learnings that I got from over a lot of feasibility studies, a lot of thesis, among all of the 28 trading systems that I have created, teaching hundreds and hundreds of students and many, many more. My rule is you have to be subjective, as Sir FQ said a while ago. You have to be subjective on what you're about to hear, on what you're about to hear. Okay? I might be wrong. I might be right. Some of it might work, some of it might not. But for me, it works on my end. Okay? Do not believe everything that I say right away. Bars. What I mean is that you have to test everything out. As a trader, it's your sole duty to backtest, forward test, and don't dip both of your feet testing the depth of the water. Oh my, it's my alarm, sorry. Okay? Do not dip both of your feet to test the depth of the water. Test, then trade. Okay? So can I get in the chat? I'll test, then I'll trade. And we will start. Okay? So, can anyone answer the question in the chat box? Among of the two, which will you prefer? You want $100K now? Or $300 now with 10% per month compounded for the next 10 years? Which? Okay, speaking of both not dipping feet to the test of the waters, if I may ask your friends, let me give you a moment of silence, okay, to choose either of the two. Because most of you might pick the first one because it's hold card, because it's cold hard cash, right? And you'll think of the things that you might buy with that amount of money. And you might also think, if I have this capital in trading right now, I will be set for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Right? Some of you might even think it that way. I'll get the 100K now. Okay? Investment-wise, if you come to think about it, applying the concept of compounding interest, option 2 is better. It's mathematically wiser to get the $300 option. Okay? The problem is, you have to wait 10 years to get it. Right? But I assure 9 out of 10 most of you will still pick the cold hard cash. Even though I'll try my very best to fix it, and at the end of the webinar, I'll tell you why as we move further. Now, this might vary on different age groups. So if you're young, of course, it's wiser to get the 300. And some of people might think it's possible for people who started their careers, or some of you might, okay, that's applicable because you're young. What if I'm already old? Say 40s and above. So I will give you some of the people who said otherwise. They all said the same thing. Ray Dalio in his 40s, now $22 billion worth. George Soros and many, many more. Most of you know these persons also. Most of them started in their late adulthood. So it's really not a reason of age.
Yeah.
In fact, I dare you, if you want to search for it, find top 10 traders in the internet and have a $1 billion fund. Find someone on those top 10 who got rich really quick and still in the market this very day. Better yet, I'll make it more simple. Find 10 traders who manage a multi-million-dollar fund in the world who got there in just, let's say, 1 month. Okay, 3 months max. 3 months max. And I'll save you the trouble. You won't find any. Because trading will always be and forever will be a marathon. Okay? Those who will get tired gets left because those who give up early and get tired of the journey of being a trader, because as we all know, it's very, very tedious and hard. Okay? It will always be a marathon. So do not tire yourself out in the very beginning. It's not a sprint. Okay? It's not a sprint where you put a lot of risks in the beginning and spend a lot of things in the beginning and regret during the race. You're tired. Better yet, you don't have any capital anymore because you lost. Or worse, a friend of mine even committed a suicide because it went big and it lost in just a few weeks. I know this also for a fact because I was one of those persons before. Like I said, you already know a lot of this concept, but sadly, only a few people apply. Okay? The people I showed you a while ago said one thing and one thing in common, and it's not about making gains, the trading system, and certain market conditions. What they said is to manage your risk and let your profits compound over time. We have to learn it. We have to learn and wait to be patient. Okay? In trading, we don't need to be right all the time because the market will do its thing and it will give you endless possibilities and setups. Managing risks and letting your profits run is the same sentence as if we are talking about trading. Common rule, and again, we have heard of this already. You have to be bigger when you're right and smaller if you are wrong. And it's very common, yet very, very understated. Okay? Most even doesn't apply. Some doesn't understand the beauty of waiting. Matter of fact, the reason you don't have the money or we don't have the money yet, it's because we don't deserve it yet. And maybe we can't handle it yet. Ask any businessman or any CEO, and they will tell you if there is a certain opportunity or a risk that will come out, they will always ask the same things when it comes to business. Questions like, what are my responsibilities? What will it bring to my business? What are my downsides? What are my risks? What will I give or sacrifice from my end or from my business? Then it will be followed by the numbers such as profit margins, cash flows, future earnings, income. If trading is a damn business, then why should we not apply this very golden rule?
True.
If trading is a business, why do most traders take it as a damn gamble? So why? Why for those who in their minds pick, why did I pick the 100K? Okay? And it's not about math. If you didn't compute it right away, it's all right. It took me a while also to get that number. Okay? Why are we so fixated on getting rich quick? Why are we risking a lot in the beginning and risking the future of the portfolio or a business? Why do we want the now rather than the something? Rather than someday? Okay? Are you ready for this? Ask me in the chat why. Why is it?
Why?
Why? This is something that I have read recently, and I'm gonna move okay. It's what we call the hyperbolic discounting. This is actually a philosophic statement. Okay? It states that the closer our reward is, the higher our emotional interest rate rises. And the more that we are willing to give up in exchange for it. Why will I wait if I can have it now and use it for my future? We discount the fact that how will the future looks like? What are the implications of having it right now? Can I handle it? Questions like, what will I do to maintain or grow it? Do I have the skills to maintain or grow it? We're so hung up with that euphoric emotion of having something now rather than delaying the outcome. Stepping back and say, can I handle this? I'm sorry for the word. Can I handle this shit right now? We discard the accountability and stuck with the fact that there might be consequences and opportunities with certain actions. Why? Why do we have this? It's because we're animals. Just a higher form though. And who can blame us? Right? We're animals after all. We're magnetized with our remnants of our ninuno or ancestors from the past. We were hunters and gatherers back then. Things like, why not corrupt now and let others deal with it in the future? You can train rats as much as you want, but if you give them cheese today, they will not think if they will have 2 cheeses tomorrow. That's why credit cards are very popular. Okay? You can have something now and spend the rest of the days using the product, being so problematic on where will you get the money to pay the damn card. That's why Shopee have the pay later feature, and why I have 90 items in the cart right now. Sorry, struggling to check that freaking refrigerator or the new Nintendo Switch. We can analyze our emotions and gain power over them to get control of the hyperbolic discounting. However, humans such as us struggles very hard to build good habits. Okay, we struggle to build good habits, and it's very easy to acquire bad ones. Frankly speaking, it's even harder to forget the bad habits, right? The counterpart of hyperbolic discounting is what we call the delayed gratification. Again, you already know about this. Okay? However, it's very hard to master, and only those who are worthy to master such power. Okay? Those who have the ability, or those peoples that have the ability with delayed gratification right now are what you call multimillionaires and billionaires. Okay? Those who have created influences in the world. And it's simple as it is written. It's just delay the gratification. Wait. Okay? Just wait. If you have something to spend or trade, wait and think back of the accountabilities and implications of your potential action. Before saying I do in a marriage, or yes in sex, or writing numbers in a lottery, or better yet, putting all of your money on one damn trade. Because some person said that it will go up. Okay? Or it will go higher or lower. Okay? A good rule of thumb that I use, by the way, is if I buy some goods, I wait about 1 week. And then if I still want them after a week, I will buy it because it's probably a need. In trades, if I do my trades both in day trading and in investing, okay, I think before I enter a trade, I think over 30 seconds before entering it. And during those 30 seconds, I think 3 times. During those thinking 3 times, I double check everything, planning my risks, planning my A, B, C, D, and biases before gathering and getting out of the trade. Have you ever think about why copy trading or algorithm trading is developed and why? Until today, trading should just be trading. Yet, traders treat trading as an easy game. For example, copy trading makes you copy a good trader for you to sit and relax and let someone trade it. Okay? Someone trade it. If it loses, you feel bad because you couldn't control the outcome. If you won, you're happy, but not that happy. Okay? Because you didn't work hard for it. More of a game of chance. Take, for example, algorithmic traders. Okay? These are traders who lets computers and algorithmic mathematical equations to do the execution and analysis for you. The downside of it is that algorithms cannot factor in bigger and proper risk allocation of what should be trades that are better, or also known as alpha trades. Okay? They cannot discount that specific or algorithmic equations cannot account for those alpha trades, because to have an alpha trade or very, very high accurate trades that you can give bigger risks, human logic, emotions, and you need to filter out market conditions, certain technical factors, and fundamental factors to place a higher risk on a trade and trade the riskier high accuracy trade. Both are attractive because they give you easier trades and a simpler lifestyle. But should it not be the reverse, where trading should be simple to make our lives easier? Simple and easy are very, very different words. Okay? Something simple is not easy. Didn't hear anyone who got rich quick out of it and stayed in the game. Because trading needs a human factor if you take the human out of it. It's just pure game of luck, not a business. I will not other mentors sugarcoat what they say, but trading is still trading. should be here for the long run, survive the long run, and in any market condition. If you prolong your profits and gains of your capital, okay, and compound it over time, you will get that $27 million that I have shared a while ago. Makes sense, right? That's why it's very, very blurred. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
That's why Albert Einstein considered it. Yeah, that's my grandfather, by the way. He considered compounding interest as the eighth wonder of the world. Consider my $300 example a while ago. Now, think, can you do it? You have the patience to have that multi-million-dollar fund that we aspire? Do you have the guts? If you don't have one to go with this journey of ours, then don't continue trading. It's a waste of time. Okay? This is a game of patience and discipline associated with money, not being smart and being quick. Okay? So how? And this is the bread and butter of my presentation. How? Okay? As traders, how will I have it? How can I manage my risk and let other profits run over time? Okay? Simple. Join Forefront. Oh, diba? sorry. Let me give you my sorry. Let me give you my trading models.
For the record,
me-
Coach Seth is one of our coaches in Vertex. So it's a good one.
So let me give you my trading models. Okay, and this is for free, and this is for everyone who is watching on FB or in this Zoom of ours. Okay. Are you ready for the butter and bread, the butter of the bread? My presentation. And this is
Yes.
our little secret, okay? Okay. This is how I do it. Okay. This is what I call my trading business model. And it's divided into 4 quadrants. Okay? So can I get a let's go in the chat?
Let's
come on.
go. Let's go.
Okay. So in the operations part, of course, find a strategy. Okay? Can get one if you can find a strategy. You can join my course, pass my screening and join the course or the Forefront course, or you can find one in the internet as well. Okay, there are a lot of them. And of course, you have to backtest that strategy with at least 5 years of trades. Okay? Consider that every month of your trading strategy should arrive at least a net gain per month. Okay? And if you follow this mathematical rule of thumb, okay, it must at least give you at least 5% average win or average gain per month. Okay? Find one, backtest, then apply your strategy. Remember, like I said in the beginning, delay and plan. Okay? It must be feasible for your strategy to work. Know the stats, know the strat bars. Okay? The second quadrant is what we call, I need to move this one. Okay? The second quadrant is the cash flow management. And this is how I do things. Yeah? Inputting money in your business from the start should be like this. Okay? 10% of unused income, meaning money that you don't really use and you will not use for the next 10 years, must be put on your potential trading business. Okay? And of course, if you scale your income up, you have to scale the 10%. Okay? Not put all of your hard-earned money already there. Okay? And trade it already one time. Okay? Don't put all of your 13-month pay or the Christmas bonuses that will happen this December. Okay? If you make money from the operations I shared a while ago, okay, learn to remove, if you make money and gain, you learn to remove some of the profits you got, which around 20%, and retain the rest of the investments. This will make you appreciate, if you withdraw, this will make you appreciate the journey or the tedious journey of ours. Okay? It might not look big, but come back to me after a year. Okay? But the point of what I'm saying is, you heard of this already. Try. try to use it this time. Now, I'm nearly at the end. Okay. The second one is what we call the investment versus trading. Okay, and I'm gonna move this one. Okay, it's investment versus. So the 10% that I mentioned a while ago. Okay, look for one strat for investments or in any other market, and one strat for short-term trades. Okay, or on any of those markets. Personally, for me, I like crypto stocks and some indices for investing, and forex are merely for trading, such as also as for futures, commodities, golds, and other metals. And don't compare which is better. Just take the two basket. If you find a $100 bill and a $10 on the ground, you don't pick the $100 only. You pick both. Okay? Lastly, on the quadrant is what we call the techno funda risk. Okay? There are a lot of there that you can use to use proper VAR or value at risk per trade. You can use baby pips and MyFX book. You can also create your own Excel file. But the point that I'm making here is do not go bigger than 1%. Again, you have to survive and delay. It will come. Okay? The big money will come. Okay? That's what she said. Okay? So for techno fundamental risks, here is a simple model of mine. Okay? If your technicals and fundamentals, can I have an Antonate here? So if your fundamentals and technicals are aligned, you go 1% per trade. If you're a beginner, if you're a beginner. If not, if the fundamentals is saying it's down and its technicals is saying it's on an uptrend, you go half. It's contradictory. So you can't do big risks. If it's on a downtrend and your fundamentals is saying that it will go long, you can't go big. It's contradictory. But if it's on a downtrend and your technicals is on a downtrend, you can go big, like 1%. Now, if you are a beginner, if you're experienced, of course, since you already know what you're doing and you're very good at your strategy or the operations that I have said a while ago, if it's on an uptrend, of course, go 5%, go big or go home.
Yeah, you can scale up, but not probably not to the point na it's like 40% of your whole capital, right?
Yeah.
Because I've seen in the competition, that is what I like to highlight. Because I've seen in the competition that people are going beyond their whole capital. So it's going to be critical for the long run.
Actually, the 40% is already big.
That's really big. That's really big. Because $2,000 out of $5,000 with just 10 pips, that's already 40% of the capital already. Not considering other pips. If it goes shorter or it goes longer, pips potential, it's gonna be too much gambling already and detrimental for the capital. So go on.
So just like what Dad said, you cannot go big. Even though experienced traders doesn't even go that big. Me personally, after 7 years of trading, the biggest that I can give is around 5% or better yet 2.5 per trade.
Yeah. But 5% it's a bit higher. It's a bit steep on my list. 2% is it's ideal maximum.
No, that's why I always tell my students, know who you are and be who you are.
Yeah. So
learn where you are right now.
Just to give a little
like where you are right now.
Just to give a little highlight to everyone that's here right now. What is your biggest suggestion with regards to win rate? Now, let's say for example, you have a higher win rate of probability of taking trades. Should you go higher than the average percentage, or is a win rate a factor for you to also commit to higher risks?
For me, it's more about if you have backtested the system already, you will find there common things about winning trades. It's not about how much were you able to win or how much were you able to lose. How often were you able to win? How often were you able to lose? It's I believe it's if you find your own statistics of the trading system, you will find there what are common. What can you classify as common trades? What are what you call high precision or high probability trades? Right? There are a lot of things that are very common with winning trades. Find them and trade only them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay? Kasi,
So, okay, let's move it. Those are different brokers na lang.
yeah. Okay.
Platforms already. So, okay. So,
Okay.
okay. I'll give you a little I'll take the screen right now. And let's have a little Q&A session with Coach Seth. Seth, now this afternoon, right? What I've learned from your sharing, it's not go big or go home, right? It's not go big or go home kind of thing, right? Because okay, you've used the quotation go big when you are right and lower when you are wrong. It's about objective, or like I said here in the presentation in front of you guys, is gambling a better option for you, right? And I believe this is the gist of what Seth is sharing to everyone. We want to stay in the platform. We want to stay with our trades for the longest time, and it's with proper risk management. I know you have. I mean, a lot of people are really ecstatic about them having a good system, right? But at the end of it all, our main goal and objective as a trader is to manage risks. Correct, everyone. Can you type risks? So actually, I've learned a lot. I know we are the discussion of Coach Seth is a lot more, and we'll be having more of him in the coming weeks as well. So a little shout out again to DuPoint Markets for providing this
DuPoint, the one-stop
webinar
trading platform for
everyone.
commodities, indices, and currency pairs.
So do check them out because they have a really good platform, and we have also some courses that we offer in our company. It's Professional Financial Market Executives. We also have a program under Coach Seth. It's under Forefront Program. Now, this week will be really tough for people, right, Seth? I believe it's also looking ahead of opportunities of what people should be expecting with trading or global markets, or how we will act upon specific trades, because there are a ton of news. Actually, Trump, as we speak, is having a live session right now, a speech about his outlook against China, against Russia, against Korea, and all. So, and India as well. So we have to at least prepare, correct, for the week ahead. Now, risk management was the really gist of the topic for this afternoon, but we also have to prepare everyone for the whole week. Let's just have a little rundown, siguro, of what will happen. Because just this morning we had an RBA, or a high impact news with the AUD USD as well. We have upcoming CPIs for the whole week, employment change of AUD as well, and PPI of the US. So if you guys are ready to have a short discussion and quick overview of what's going to happen in the market, can you type number 1? And let's have a little insights as well with Coach Seth. What are his thoughts with all these things as well? And okay, so this is one of the biggest playbooks in the market right now that is really significant in the market. China's economy is currently facing significant challenges. And this was a going question yesterday with one of our students. Why is Australia pumping up the other day, and right now, why is it going down sharply? So the pump up of Australia, or the pump up of some pairs, was because of a previous impact of the market last week. So as we all know, non-farm, can you type it in there, guys? Non-farm. Non-farm payroll, or the employment statistics of the US, are actually in a downward scale spiral. So technically, it is weaker on the US, and it gave more potential for other pairs to capitalize on it. That is why pairs cross-correlate went up against the dollar. Right now, AUD is taking a heavy hit on how China is acting, because let's just say Australia is one of the biggest importers, or let's just say exporters of China. So it will in turn give us a downward pressure with AUD USD as well. And do I really suggest people to do monitor economic data on China and Australia as well, because we have not only the cash balances on Australia, but we also have upcoming with Australia. I'm just gonna pop up some impacts of what will happen. Unemployment changes as well with Australia. In our server, we have posted a ton of data already. And if you want to get to know more about all this data, everybody is welcome. Just send us a message in our page so that you have a glimpse of what we have in our server as well. These are all the preparations of what we are doing. For this week, just this morning or just this afternoon, we just posted all these things. China's economical policies and policy changes in China, that it is actually creating a risk of sentiment with China and beneficial with US dollar strength. But cross-correlate, let's do some cross-correlation with this whole thing. It is actually weaker on the side of Australia because of this. Take note, Australia is one of the biggest exporters in China, and NZD is a cross-correlated pair as well with Australia. Whatever the direction of Australia, usually NZD follows. And take note, another thing is what we are facing is, well, the base and code topic that of what we have discussed from our previous discussion is very important. I believe everyone have been watching the previous videos of what we have already. If Australia is weaker and you are trading AUD, can you type it in there, AUD? If you are trading AUD and USD, you are to purchase the US dollar with the use of your of your Australian dollar. Australian dollar is on a weaker side, and US dollar is on a stronger side. So let's put some strength and weaknesses on pairs with regards to impacts. Australia is weaker, making you purchase dollar more lower in scale, making the pair in direction going down. That being weaker, that will be the economical impact for a going good stimulus for Australia. Not to mention, Australia as well is having, I believe, a unemployment rate upcoming, or employment statistical rate. Okay, here. Let's try to pop this out so that you have a glimpse of this as well. So they have an employment rate upcoming as well. And the numbers are just showing bad for what is happening with Australia right now. Risks of their data in Australia is weak labor data in Australia and a potential rise of Japan's tanken manufacturing index as well. So it might lower down the pair more. And let's look into the global impacts for other pairs as well. So that is for Australia. And we have also impacts that are upcoming with FOMC minutes and PCE inflation, or let's just call it the inflation data of the US. So inflation data of the US, as stated there, will be having a higher, or a 2.7 higher for their annual or year-on-year data upcoming. So expectation setting with this one, there will be a trajectory in the US that will give a little strength with the dollar. And if you try to cross-correlate this with what's happening or with other impacts or with other pairs, the dollar creating or having a higher potential inflation numbers, it provides more strength to the dollar as a currency, and it will likely weaken other cross-correlated currencies. So try to expect and try to understand it in a base and quote correlation. Now, this is for the impacts of what will happen, as well as unexpected rate cut of 25 basis point cut for the euro. So expectation setting, euro is weaker because of 25 basis point cut. And there are 4 more cuts, actually 5 more cuts upcoming if for the whole year or for the next year. So expect that it will potentially weaken the euro as well. So take all these things with a grain of salt. Like I said, what we are trading in or what we are trading are actually the stimulus of the market, and we have to make sure to see these signs as well in price. And right now, if you want to trade like say euro and GBP USD, you have to see those signs of reversal initially first before you can say that all these impacts are happening right away. Like for AUD USD, we already felt the impact already from this morning, right? We already felt the impact already from this morning's run, and we already had a run on shorts with AUD. So it was posted in our server ahead of time. If you want to get a glimpse of all this data, like I said, all this data will show to us what is happening with the market. And there are also some effects with not only with AUD USD, there are also effects with USD CAD. If the impact of the Canadian rate will have a rate cut as well, and US inflation is stronger, it's actually what we call a policy divergence, and it will be a bullish outlook for USD CAD. And for the stock market, these impacts are long on tech stocks as well. For BTC USD, it might be a hedge for the market. So it might be a potential also support for BTC USD, considering we have also a moving average 20 that is still supporting BTC. So we might see it on a much shorter time frame create a longer sideways scale again. If it really wants to sustain its run up above 100K, try to have at least a test of 102,000 again and break out of 100,000 higher. If you want to make sure that you have a really concrete decision with regards to going direction, see these things in price first. All these indicators, all these impacts that I am sharing right now from our future outlook are what we call indicators of the market. So stimulus can be that guide to us. Can you type it in there, guys? Guide. Guidance. It should be a guide. And all these indicators should be at least that basis point of ours when we are taking in our trades. And it is also essential to apply what you have learned with Sir Seth Renmar Garcia with risk management. All these things should be coinciding or in agreement with everything. Let's just say, why are we adding up indicators in our charts? Let's say we are adding up an RSI with our chart. We are adding up moving averages in our chart. What are the reasons why are we adding those things? First things and foremost, yes, we are trading price, but we are adding more potential to what we know with fundamentals, what we know of what our foundational aspect with moving averages, with our Fibonacci, with our RSI, it should add up, or it should at least give us that trigger point or basis point for us to make a sound decision. And this is what trading should be. And this is what I want everyone to learn for this afternoon session. And like I said, we always have to prepare with the markets because the markets are ever changing, and it's a holiday season upcoming. We want to make sure that we have a very Merry Christmas with our trades and with our application. Next year will be a hell of a ton impacts that will be coming because Trump will be taking his seat already. So I guess like I said, we will still continue, and we will continue giving light on economical impacts with DuPoint markets as well, and prepare and giving more quality insights to everybody with regards to trades and executions. Seth, are you still there? Let's try to have a highlight checkpoint for everybody before we actually end the session. I know we took longer with the discussion, and I'm sorry to be cutting you guys. And don't worry, because Seth will be always here and will be guesting in our live seminar as well. We have some topics and we have some other guest speakers in line as well. Shout out, Sir Sai. Hopefully, you will be available as well on our next following session. So, quick question. How do you find risk management right now and the application of risk management? And how do you find our discussion for this afternoon? And just a little debriefing. How do you find it? Can I call on Sir Brian? Brian, how do you find our discussion for this afternoon?
Hello. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, Brian. How are you? All the way from
Okay lang. Okay lang. Bitin dads, parang kailangan kong mag-enroll ng forefront.
Bitin. Bitin. Okay.
Bitin.
So, don't
Pero
worry.
maganda.
Yes, the session right now, I know it's yeah, in Filipino they term it as bitin. It means, how do you term it in English?
18. Sorry.
Sorry,
Sorry.
bitin. Yeah, bitin is too short. I mean, people are looking for more, right? So thank you for that one, Brian. Can I call on Ma'am Ana? Ma'am Ana, how do you find the discussion for this afternoon? Ma'am Ana, are you here? Ma'am Ana May Lorica? Let's call on some random people. What are your thoughts about Left High and Dry, Sir Francis Ganapao of our program as well? So thank you. Can I call on we have here as well Sir Julian. Sir Julian, do you have a microphone? What are your thoughts on the discussion for this afternoon? How do you find it, or do you have any questions as well?
Sir, I find it very, very important in our trading journey, sir. Just to preserve what we already have, and risk management will help us preserve and grow our portfolio.
Great, great. So thank you, Sir Julian, for that one. Let's have a little last call for people this afternoon. Can I call on Ma'am Leira Faye? Thank you, Sir Julian, for that one. Ma'am Leira, how do you find our discussion, or any questions probably with Sir Seth for this afternoon?
Hello po.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah. Sir, I find it very informative. We were reminded of things that we usually forgot, and I think we needed this discussion.
Yeah, thank you. So usually people neglect on risk management. People are too over engrossed with finding the next best system, next best approach, and just looking for that profit objective with the market. But risk management will be the best line of defense that you will be having to really protect that hard-earned capital. And so thank you, Sir Seth, for being here this afternoon, and hopefully we get to have you more on the weeks ahead as well. So huge shout out to DuPoint Markets for providing this webinar, and go check out our programs in Vertex and all our platforms as well. We have a Facebook page. It's called Vertex Trading, and we have programs as well. And in partnership with DuPoint, we are here to provide you the utmost value and learning that we can give for you to be executing well with your trades. And this is FQ Farnacio and Renmar Garcia. Good afternoon and have a great week ahead. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.